Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sarah if you don't know me, and this is Lily. And I started my YouTube channel to follow my journey becoming a single mother by choice and going through IVF, as well as getting diagnosed with endometrial cancer and PCOS. So if any of those topics appeal to you at all, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload new videos. So I believe the last time I updated you guys, I was prepping for my ERA and ReceptivaDx tests, and it has been a crazy week. So I went in for my ultrasound and blood work on Monday, February 1st, and my lining was only at 6 millimeters. So we were hoping that it would be, at least 7, hopefully 8, in which case I would have been able to have my ERA and ReceptivaDx biopsies done on this coming Monday, February 8th. But my lining was not thick enough. So they said to come back again on Thursday, the 4th. And so I went back, another ultrasound and blood work, and my lining was only at 6.4, and my estrogen level went down somehow. So I upped my estrogen patches, and my estrogen somehow went down. So my doctor did not like that, and he said he wanted to see me back again on this coming Monday the 8th for another ultrasound and blood work. So basically every time I go in for an ultrasound and blood work at the Cleveland Clinic, when you self-pay, you can self-pay for your ultrasound, so they don't charge you like $400 something. You can self-pay and pay so it doesn't go through your insurance, because my insurance won't cover it anyways. It's $150 for every ultrasound, and then it's $255 every time I get my blood drawn for estrogen and progesterone. So this will be the 5th time I'm going. Like, I added all this up, and it's gonna end up costing me about over $5,000 just for these tests. If you include all the ultrasounds, blood work, that's not even including the medications, which the estrogen patches, I ended up somehow, my insurance covered those, so at least I didn't have to pay for those, or the progesterone oil, so that's good. But yeah, it's gonna be, I think I calculated like $5,200 when all is said and done, because I have to pay like $1,000 to the clinic to just do the biopsies. I have to pay $800 to iGenomics for the ERA. I have to pay $815, I think, to ReceptivaDx. So it's just a lot. So I'm stressed out about that. I'm trying not to worry about the money, because I know you can always make more money, right? And I want this baby more than anything. I will make it work. I'll figure it out. But what's really stressing me out is my lining. And believe me, before you guys go to the comments and say, try this, try this, try this. I mean, you can do that, but I almost guarantee you I've tried it and I've done it. So I've been drinking bone broth every single night. I've been drinking pomegranate juice every single day. I've been doing Mayan abdominal massage on myself every single day. I've been taking baby aspirin. I started taking vitamin E, because I know they say vitamin E is good. I read somewhere that if you're taking aspirin, you shouldn't also take vitamin E, but I'm just doing that too. What else have I done? Acupuncture. I did acupuncture. I've been trying to do yoga every day. It's ending up being about 4 to 6 times a week I'm doing yoga, to try to just increase blood flow. I heard you're supposed to increase blood flow but not actually sweat, because if you get to the point of sweating, your body could be working too hard to continue to grow your lining. So what else? I feel like there's more. I'm doing everything. I'm eating red meat. I'm doing a lot. So I'm just getting a little discouraged, and I have no idea why my estrogen went down. That's not normal. My doctor doesn't see that. That confused him. He doesn't like that. So I'm just really hoping. We did up to 4 estrogen patches now. So basically we started off slow. I started with 1 estrogen patch, changing every 2 days for a week, went in for the ultrasound and blood work, and my lining was only at like 5 something. And estrogen was like 80 something. So we upped to 2 patches, and I came back the following week. It was only at a 6. My estrogen though was at, what was my estrogen at? 400 something? 400 something. Which is high for just 2 patches. So then we upped to 3 patches. 3 days later went in, and it was only at 6.4, but my estrogen went down. So now we're at 4 patches, and I'm going back Monday. So that will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days later with 4 patches. So hopefully, I just really want to get these tests done so we can just evaluate and find out if I need more or less time on progesterone for my next transfer, and also to determine if I have endometriosis, which I don't think I have, but I just want to rule it out, see if I have inflammation in the uterus. So I do want to get these done, but I'm just like petrified that I'm going to like go in there on Monday and I'm going to get more disappointing news, and somehow they're going to like cancel. Like, I really just don't want to cancel this cycle. So it's like been, 3 weeks now. It'll be 3 weeks on Monday that we've been working towards this, and me being on all this estrogen, and I just really don't want to like scrap this cycle and have that be a bunch of wasted time and wasted like estrogen on me. So and really ultimately I just want to get these done so that we can, because as soon as I get these biopsies done, I will be able to stop my medication, stop my estrogen, stop my progesterone and oil injections at the time, and then I'll get my period 5 days later, and then be able to start my meds for my next egg retrieval. So really, obviously I want to get to my next embryo transfer. There's so many steps in the process like until then, and I just really want everything to go smoothly, but I am just learning. This process is so hard. And if you go through IVF and you get pregnant the first time, which I have seen plenty of people do, plenty of people have no issues, have a perfectly smooth cycle, get pregnant on their first transfer, like, you are so lucky, and you have no idea how hard it is to like get disappointing news after disappointing news after disappointing news, and especially going through it on your own. Most people, have their husband or boyfriend to support them through it all. It's just really hard. I'm sorry. I don't want to sit here and complain. Like, that's not what this video is about, but I just want other people, other women, other single women going through this process and having the same struggles that I am, or maybe not the same struggles, but have other struggles. Like, I want you to know that you're not alone, and that there are so many women that are also going through IVF alone, like you are, to have a baby because all they want is to have a baby, and things don't always go as planned or always go perfectly in IVF, and most of the time they don't. So I just, if you're thinking about starting this journey, just be prepared. Like, be prepared for things to be disappointing. Like, throughout the process, you're going to be disappointed. Maybe not. Maybe you will be one of the few that, like I said, everything goes smoothly and perfectly, and you don't have to feel this pain. But I can tell you, it has been a rough week for me. I've been crying a lot. It's just like when you get disappointing news, then like it kind of spirals for me into like, I wonder if this is ever going to happen for me. Like I get so afraid. And also like, I truly believe that my cancer is not going to come back. But of course, that is always in the back of my mind. And that is why I have such urgency with this, is that like, I need to get pregnant before my cancer comes back. If it does come back, I don't think it's going to come back. But I also, there's people in my life that seem to think that I need to be reminded that my cancer can come back and I should be careful and I should think about what I'm doing. Don't you think like I have thought this through? I mean, this is my life, obviously. I just don't need that kind of like negativity. Like I don't need someone telling me that my cancer could come back. So obviously that is a fear that I have in the back of my head. But pregnancy is the absolute best preventative treatment for endometrial cancer, and that is why, I mean, obviously I want to be a mom more than anything in the world, and on top of it, it would prevent my cancer from coming back most likely. Like that is just all the more like reason why this needs to happen for me ASAP. So that is the reason that every step of this process, like things that get delayed are just harder on me, you know? So basically I just wanted to give you guys an update, and I'm sorry for not updating you sooner, but they're really just, I just keep going to these ultrasounds and my lining's not thick enough, so it's just frustrating. So I really hope that in 3 days that I will have some good news. My lining will be thick enough so that we can proceed with this ERA and ReceptivaDx, and then I can proceed with my egg retrieval. And of course I will take you guys along for all of that, all the shots, all hopefully good updates with the embryos, how they're doing each day, the PGTA testing, all of that I got to do all over. So and I'll of course keep you posted on my recovery from the egg retrieval. Hopefully it is not nearly as traumatic as my last one was. So what else? I feel like I had something else I wanted to share with you guys. I did actually decide, so back when I first got diagnosed with cancer, they were pushing me to get cancer screening done to see if I had Lynch syndrome. And at the time I just was not interested because I just didn't want to know, honestly. So Lynch syndrome, if you don't know, is if you have Lynch syndrome, you're a lot more likely to get endometrial cancer and or colon cancer. I don't have endometrial cancer running in my family at all. There's no women on my dad's side or my mom's side that have ever had endometrial cancer as far as I know. And there is one person in my family that has had colon cancer, and that was my dad's dad. So my grandpa on my dad's side did have colon cancer, but nobody else has. So when I had a call with a genetic counselor this past week, and they told me that they tested they called it my tumor, but my polyp, I don't like to call it my tumor, and they checked it for certain mutations, or I forget what the word is, that they checked it for, and they were all normal as it relates to the possibility of having Lynch syndrome. So they said that that's not as accurate as the carrier screening that I am having done to check for Lynch syndrome, so that will tell me for sure. But they said based on that I only have like a 0.8% chance of having it. Statistics really don't mean much to me anymore, honestly, because there was only a 1% chance that I had cancer with that polyp. And there was like a very, very, very small percent chance that I would have only had one normal embryo out of my 9 embryos, out of my 35 eggs. So statistics don't seem to have worked in my favor this past year, so I'm not gonna like think to myself like, oh, only 0.8% chance. I'm not gonna worry about it then. But I'm hopeful that I don't have Lynch syndrome. The reason I decided to check for that is because I realized that if I do have it, I can do PGTM testing on my embryos for Lynch syndrome, and that way I can choose embryos that don't have that mutation or gene or carry it or whatever. So I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for my future child, so I don't bring a child into the world that has Lynch syndrome if I do in fact have Lynch syndrome, which I don't think I do. But anyways, they sent me the kit in the mail. I had to spit in a tube. I mailed that yesterday. I'll probably have results in the next 2 weeks, so I'll keep you posted on that. They checked for Lynch syndrome, and they threw in ovarian cancer, breast cancer, and pancreatic cancer, because pancreatic cancer, I have a great aunt and a great uncle on my mom's side that both had pancreatic cancer, so they're going to check for all that. So I also did a bunch of thrombophilia screening, like blood tests. I have not gotten the results for those back. What has prompted all this extra testing that I want to do is, I'm sure you have probably heard of the Egg Whisperer. She has a channel on YouTube. She does Instagram lives all the time and answers questions. She's a fertility doctor on the West Coast, and I ended up emailing her like my story, and she emailed me back and she gave me all these like tips. So I thought that was really amazing of her, and I just took all of her suggestions to heart and got moving on everything she suggested. The only thing that she suggested that I have not done yet, but I am planning to do, is an HSG. She said she wants me to check my tubes to make sure those are okay. We know, like, my doctor has like done hysteroscopies before, like with my DNCs and my polyp removal, so he's like gone into my uterus with a camera, so he's seen the inside of my uterus like very closely. So the HSG wouldn't be to evaluate the uterine cavity really, because he already knows what the uterine cavity looks like and everything. It would be more to make sure that my tubes are okay, which I don't really need my tubes for IVF per se, but I guess if I have some different kind of issues with my tubes, that it could prevent an embryo from implanting, or like from completely implanting. So we know like my last embryo implanted at least a little bit, but did not complete the implantation process because I had a little HSG or HCG, but not a lot, and then it went away. So I'm totally rambling here, but I just wanted to catch you up on all of what has transpired over the last couple weeks, and I will keep you posted next week. Hopefully I have some good news that my ERA and ReceptivaDx are ready to happen probably the following week. Just ready to get this show on the road. So I hope you guys are all doing well. And again, I truly cherish all of the little relationships we are building. I'm talking to so many of you on either Instagram. Some of us have exchanged phone numbers and are just really supportive of each other and going through the wonderful world of IVF together and becoming a single mom. So again, thank you again for reaching out to me and for your concerns, and I'm here for you too. So if you need support in any of this, reach out to me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where you are in your journey, and we can be there for each other. So I can't wait to give you guys some good news next week. Have a great night. I will talk to you soon.